Welcome in, y'all. Haha. So make sure you are commenting live if you are watching live. Make sure you comment replay if you are watching the replay. All right. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and get started for those who will be watching replay, and you ain't gotta wait 5 minutes for me to get started and all that crazy stuff. So we are getting into shaping your identity. Okay. The I am. We're going beneath the surface of what you see on the outer surface. Okay. So first of all, let's get into why. Why do I even speak on identity? Why do I speak on identity shifting? Why do I speak on just anything that has to do with identity? Okay. Not just because I am an identity and energetic alignment advisor, but this is something that really draws me in passionately. Okay. This is something that it feels like a natural call that I need to speak on. Okay. And I haven't been live in a while, but today I woke up and I was just like, I'm going to do a live. I'm going to do a live, and I'm going to do a live on shaping your identity, your I am. And that was just it. So I know this topic and everything like that is such a natural call. Okay. So when it comes to me speaking on identity shifted, it is really about getting into helping women understand the importance of identity shifting, because when you grow up in certain cultures, you grow up in certain religions, you grow up in certain environments, you are being told, many of you have been told to be someone else that you don't want to be. So now you're in an identity that's not even truly you. And then if you've never been told who you are, like say your parents or from religion, culture, or environment, you still don't know how to individually, you know, identify yourself, right? You can identify yourself when you're in that environment. You can identify yourself when you're in that religion, that culture. But the moment it is time for you to pull yourself away and step into the individual person of you, you can't do it. Okay? So this is why we're getting into the shaping your identity and understanding your I am. Okay? And this is not personal development, this is spiritual development. Okay? And I'm going to tell you the difference really quick. Spiritual development is about your inner, your I am. Okay? Personal development is about the outer performance. Okay? How you show up on the outside, how you do this, how you do that. Many of us got a lot of that. We're done with that. Okay? We had enough personal growth, we had enough personal development. Now what the world needs, what women need, is this spiritual development. The moment where you can stop, give yourself a pause, and go inner. Okay? So when it comes to who you are and what's your name, I made a post on this on my Facebook yesterday, and I said that who you are and what's your name is two different answers. Okay? And I say this because it was one post besides that post I made, and someone, I had asked her, I said, who are you? And I said, other stuff behind that. And she came back and she's like, I am, and then she said her name. And I'm like, no, that's not how you answer this question, right? And many people will answer the who are you with their name. And that's not how you should identify you, because I didn't ask you what's your name. I asked you who are you. So who are you beneath that surface? Who are you beneath that name, beneath the temple? Okay? So I'm going to use the same example in my post. When I said, who are you? You would say, I am a woman of kindness. Well, I'm a woman of truth who honors kindness within myself and others. Okay? So that's pulling out the identity beneath the name. Because everybody, you can find 20 people whose name is Linda, Shirley, Alyssa, whatever, right? You could find so many people who have that same name as you. But once you pull in the I am, once you pull out the inner identity of who you are individually, that's what makes a difference. Okay? That's what makes a difference. So it's very important to understand that yes, you know that your name is just as important, but you also need to know and understand that who you are is just as much as important as well. So figure out, reflect, sit back, ask yourself, who are you? Okay? Not your name. The who are you should literally be a I am statement. Okay? Your who are you should literally be an I am statement. Figure that I am statement out, and then when someone asks you what's your name, you pull all that out. I am Linda. I am a woman of truth who honors kindness and myself and others. So that's a whole entire statement. I told you what my name is, the temple, the name of the temple, and I also gave you a even deeper identity of who I am beneath this temple. Okay? So, moving on to that part, shaping who you are and what's your name also falls behind on your body language, how you say who you are, and the posture that you hold as you speak and represent who you are. Okay? So, if you are saying, if you're in person, maybe not on social media, people don't really see your body language, but they definitely can get your tone. Okay? So, if you say who you are in a shy type of tone, people can feel that. Right? But if you say who you are with a confident, authoritative tone, that's you stamping on who the hell you are. Okay? With that confidence. Because you can say who you are without confidence. But to back up yourself behind the who you are, you have your body language in a confident motion, your tone is in a confident motion, and your posture. Okay? So, I have not looked at none of these. What y'all saying down here? What is the way to find truth? What is the way to find truth? We're getting into it. This is how you find your truth. When it comes to finding your truth, you need to understand who you are. Not what your parents told you, not what your culture is giving you, not what your environment is giving you, not what your religion is giving you. Pull all that away. Yes, that shapes your identity, but you need to understand who you are. Okay? So, when you get into your truth, you need to pull back the mask. Unmask yourself. Okay? Unmask yourself and understand who you truly are. And when you do that, you will learn how to walk in your truth. Okay? So stop holding on the baggage of, an identity that's not even you. You have to understand the identity that you hold. And many of you will continue to hold on an old identity, not realizing that this is not the identity that shapes who you are now. I sent it to my mom. She keeps saying her identity is in Christ, and I'm trying to explain why that's not healthy to say. I don't even think Jesus would want that. Okay, hold on. She keeps saying her identity is in Christ. So that's another thing. When it comes to religion, religion would tell you, I made a video on my Facebook yesterday too. When it comes down to religion and your identity, that's one of the main things they would not teach you. They would teach you to have identity in Christ, like you said, and they will make sure that you do not understand yourself. They will make sure that you are fastly running away from self. Okay? So when it comes to, that's why I said you have to take yourself out of the statement of religion, the being in religion, and figuring out who you are. Okay? Because if you do not, you will continuously give your identity to something else. And this is why so many people are still lost, because they're so quick to say, oh, my identity is in Christ, or this is in Christ, Jesus is the only way, and da 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 da. And it's like, look, okay, cool, do what you want to do, but at the end of the day, you need to figure out your true identity. Your true identity. Okay? And people in religion, they don't want to hear that. They say if you tap into yourself, that's going against God's will. If you tap into yourself, that's illegal. Okay, whatever. No, you need to understand that tapping into yourself is giving you the invitation to learn yourself on a deeper level. And many people are scared to face their darkness. People are scared to face their truths. And this is why so many people are masked. This is why so many people are in an illusion. This is why so many people are mimicking other people. So many women, that's literally who I'm speaking to, because that's my audience. So many women are mimicking other women, not realizing that you are shadowing your own identity. Until women can get themselves together and tapping into their identity, I don't care what religion you are, I don't care what culture you are, I don't care about your environment. Take a second, take a moment to pull yourself back and look at yourself. Self-evaluate. You have to self-evaluate at every level that you are going. Because every shift is different. Every level is different. Who you were last year is not who you were this year. So this is why you have to constantly keep up with your identity. You have to constantly evaluate yourself. Because your identity is going to shift at different levels. Every time you pivot, every time you elevate, your identity is elevating as well. Your identity is shifting as well. It's shaping itself into a new version of you. So it's very important to understand, where do you stand with yourself and your identity. And this is how you walk in your truth. With confidence. People say, I have confidence, I have confidence, I have confidence. But when it comes to deeply talking about you and your identity, where's the confidence now? And even when it comes to women who are in high level spaces, because those are my clients, that's my target audience, women in high level spaces. When it comes to you, your identity is constantly shifting, and you have to make sure that you keep up your reputation. And you also have to make sure that you don't lose yourself. Okay? And also, oh, I lost my train of thought. I hate when it happens. Also, oh my gosh. Oh, I hate that. What did I say? When you're in those high level spaces, isolation, that's the word. I couldn't think of the word. Many of these, positions, you start to get isolated, right? The higher you go, you start to isolate yourself because you feel like many people do not give you that space to be vulnerable. They don't give you the space to remember who you are. And this is why it is very important to understand who you are. Okay? Going into your body language, your posture. Let me go to that real quick. When you say who you are, what's your name, and everything of that nature, your body language could be confident as ever, right? Or your posture. My posture, my back is up, right? But once I go into my body language can be, and my tone could either be low, nasty, whatever. So this is why it's important when you speak on who you are in a confident way. Your voice, you're not low. I'm Susie, and I came here today. What? Girl, can nobody hear you? Can nobody hear you? You have to speak up, right? You have to have that confidence in who you are. And when you don't speak on who you are out of your mouth, you show it. You show it. This is why it's important to understand and the inner knowing. The inner knowing of who you are is going to mirror your body. So if you know that you are confident, you know who you are, you're going to show it in your identity, in your posture, in your body language, and in your tone. I could tell you now for myself, when I very, very first did lives, I was a little quiet. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little quiet, okay? And I had to okay, I'm elevating, right? I'm elevating into a new identity of me. I am a speaker. I am a writer. So if I am those things, I need to embody those. Right? So I had to, as a speaker, not no motivational speaker, right? I motivate, but that's not who I am. I'm a spiritual leader. Okay? And I just speak with wisdom and soul. Okay, so you want to call me a motivational speaker like someone called me earlier, whatever, but long as you're getting the message, right? Right, okay. So when I had to shift my identity and get into the identity where I am going, I had to evaluate myself. I had to identify myself with who I am becoming. Okay, so don't just say who you are and don't embody who you are. Do all of that. Say who you are and also embody who you are. So everything comes as one. You are one with yourself, your inner knowing. This is why right now, we are in the age of Aquarius. We've been in the age of Aquarius, but right now we're really in the age of Aquarius. And the age of Aquarius is really about understanding who the hell you are. And as an Aquarius, I've already done this. It don't matter if it's the age of Aquarius or not. I'm a true Aquarius. So mindset work and identity work is stuff that I do since I was aware on doing this stuff at like what, 15? So when it comes to me speaking on this topic, I know what I'm talking about because I put myself through this, and I still put myself through this, shaping my identity, understanding who I am on a deeper level, leaving organized religion. Okay? Because also when you leave organized religion, you can understand and unlearn the things that they try not to teach you, is tapping into yourself. You have to know where you want to go first. You have to know who the hell you are first. Who you are. See, it's always, where am I going? Where am I going? Where am I going? No. Pause. Learn who you are. Who am I? Who are you? Okay? The most important thing is to be yourself. Yes. Yes. This is what we're talking about here. Yes. The most important thing is to be yourself, but you can't just say be yourself to someone who doesn't know who they are. So this is why I'm getting deeper into learning who you are, so you can understand self. You can't say be yourself when it's like, okay, well, who is that? People don't know how to be themselves. This is why we have so many people mimicking each other. This is why so many people are in illusions. Because you're constantly hearing be yourself, when people don't know how to be themselves. You find yourself in solitude not by following others. Correct. Yes. Yes. You have to understand yourself. And this is why, like right now, I work with women, only women. And as I observe, many women are just, they wanting to be other women. Their desire is to be other women. I'm pretty sure men do the same thing, but that's not who I'm speaking to. So I'm going to women. And this is not a fight or against a thing for women, but as I observe how women act, why are you not answering my questions? Do you know what? I don't even know what your question is. If you're not on the topic of what I'm talking about, don't be in my comments bullshitting. This is class. This is not nothing to be playing around with. So dismiss yourself. Listen to their friends who have no idea what they're talking about. And it's not even friends. It's people overall. That's why I said culture, religion, and environments, right? Because when it comes to culture, you have this culture where there's a tradition in the family, where it's, I can go all the way down to generational trauma. And one of those is when something happens in the family, no matter if it was wrong or right, many family members would say, don't disown us. This is family. This is what we do in family, or you keep this in the family type thing. And it's just like, no, not really, because I need to speak on this because my own family hurt me. And this is why my identity is the way it is, because you as a family did this to me. Right? So down to culture, down to religion will literally teach you to have your identity given to Christ, given to Jesus. When Jesus, oh God, it's a whole different story. Jesus, that's not even his name. We just, that name don't even hold no weight. And that's another thing. Like, why are we giving our identity to someone else who don't even have their true identity? His name is Yeshua. Why are we calling him Jesus? So, but I'm not even, because that's a whole different lie. That's a whole different lie. Okay, environment. When you grow up in certain environments, example, some people might grow. Yeah, some people might grow up in, very, really good environments, right? And their identity is on a whole different level than someone who might grow up in poverty, right? But that's not always the case. Some people who grow up in better lives have a worse identity than the people in poverty. Okay? So, don't judge a book by its cover now, because it matters where you are in your environment, but then again it kind of don't. Okay? So, it goes all the way down into that. And women ask too many people for advice on things they know they sh- on advice that things that they should know they should do, not to speak too much on women. Yeah, yeah, and that's another thing, because many of us women grew up in religion. Okay, and I keep going back to religion because religion is one of the main number one things that make women run away from themselves. Okay, um so when it comes down to women trying to understand who they are, they feel like they always have to have someone externally tell them who they are. Okay, and when they feel afraid to tap into themselves on their own, they are fearing their own identity and their own truths, and they're still not realizing that. Okay? So, this is why I said spiritual development, because y'all, so many women have so much personal development. That's the external performance, right? That's the external, right? That's your good work ethic and how you show up and things of that nature. But the spiritual development, right? Your inner soul work. Shadow work is not evil. Shadow work is not evil. Shadow work is about understanding your shadows. Your shadows, perfectionism, procrastination, fear, guilt. We can go on and go on and go on. Those are 4 shadows that are on many of us till today, including myself, because I deal with procrastination and I deal with perfectionism. Okay? But I am aware. I am aware of what I need to fix. I am aware of my shadows. And this is why many women do not help themselves, because they run away from their shadows. You cannot run away from that. Be aware of it so you can understand what you need to do to fix it. Not even fix it, but just reshape it, reframe it to help you show up better in your identity. Religion, they grab on that fear, that shadow right there, that fear of shadow. That's why so many of us were living in fear for so long. Our grandmothers, their mothers, most of our family members were grown up in fear. Just constant fear, 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 fear. Don't question. Don't challenge the authorities. Don't do this. Don't do that. Da, 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 da. You need to go be this person. You need to go be this person. I told you to go do this. Da, 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 da. All of that, you have to pull that shit out. You have to pull all that shit out. All that shit that you've been hearing since you were little. Don't do this. Don't be this. You need to go. Pull it out. Pull it out both ears so you can rewire this brain of yours to understand who you are and who you truly want to be authentically. Being authentic is not you sitting here on freaking Facebook showing your messy ass house with dirt slapped on your walls, and that's not authentic. That's just you wanting to share your mess. All right. I mean, I'm just calling it what it is. But being authentic is, because people done threw this word around for so much. Being authentic is being able to truly know who you are and being able to show up in a unmasked version of you. Okay? Being able to show up without the mask. And many of you cannot do that. Guilt comes from making decisions not based upon what you want to do. So now you're wondering, what if? Being authentic is living off of your own true desires, regardless of what others think. Right. Now, what you say right here? You say guilt comes from making decisions. Guilt comes from making decisions. It can. It can. But you can also that let me hold on. Hold on. Let me say what I'm channeling. Guilt comes from making decisions. Guilt can also come from seeing how your environment was as well. So here's the example as well. A generational thing where some families have made you feel like you always have to prepare for the worst. Okay? So when it feels like you always have to prepare for the worst, some of you kind of still have that guilt on your shoulder, like, I mean, I won't be surprised if I don't get this. I won't be surprised, because I'm always supposed to expect the worst. And now you're guilting yourself in not being able to be happy or even being able to expect the good out of things, right? And that is a decision too. So going to that and then going into the decision of, you get presented something and you feel guilty on yourself on trying to even make a decision. So now you're indecisive because either you don't want to outshine someone, or you're probably feeling like you're questioning yourself, like, is this even for me? Like, do I deserve this? So when it comes to guilt, actually, it has a lot of inner, pickings that you can get from. You don't have guilt. If you make your own moves and you fail because you did what you felt was supposed to do, so you live in with the results. Such as giving someone 100% love until you have to cut them off because it's not reciprocal. Because now you know it wasn't because you sabotaged the relationship. Yeah. As I said, you can unfold guilt in so many ways, actually. You can actually unfold guilt in very many different ways. Looking at my notes. We have things you want to it's not supposed to be facing. Oh, okay, this part here. So, in my notes, I specifically said we have things living inside our identity that's not supposed to be fixed, but instead a story that shapes us. And that's grief, heartbreak, loss, and so much more things, right? So when it comes to like your identity and you're holding on grief, so let's say you're grieving over a lost one from years on end, right? And some people would tell you to let it go. Some people would tell you you should have been healed from that already, or you need to move on. You need to just cry it all out and just let it go at that very, very moment. And it's like, dude, that's not realistic at all. So when it comes to, grieving, it shapes your identity, right? And it could shape your identity whether it puts you in a deeper depression or it gives you strength over your pain. Okay? Learning how to turn your pain into a strength, right? So, for me, for an example, like to this day, I'm still grieving over, my father passing and my grandmother passing in the same month, September, right? And I'm not over that grief, but I am able to shape my identity from turning that fresh pain into strength. Okay, so every year that comes by to September and to their actual days that they pass, this year I didn't sit here crying, snobbing, and boo-hooing and being depressed. I didn't do that. What I did was I got myself up, got a lot of things done, going live, speaking, talking about identity, helping other women, right? I can't sit in my pain and just expect for it to just go. No, because all pain doesn't do that. All pain is not just going to just disappear the moment you just shed a tear. No, some pain, some situations that went on in your life is going to stay with you. This is why it's not important to fix it, but it's important to shape it with who you are becoming, right? Because at every level, you're changing, you're shifting into a new identity, okay? Wait, I read that one. I read that one too. Okay, this is where energetic transmutation comes in. Yep. Yep. This is why I am an identity and energetic alignment advisor for women. I put these together because on top of that, energy is a whole different topic as well, because people feel like energy is just, oh, I don't like her today. Oh, I'm sad today. I'm mad today. Nah, it's energy is deeper than that, right? It's very deep frequency that's around us. This whole entire realm is frequency. Okay? This goes for both genders. Yes, of course it do. My audience is women, so you're gonna hear me like women, because that's my audience. But if you agree with me as an opposite sex, cool. But when it comes to energy, you have to know that also shapes your identity as well. Okay? So being able to tap into your mindset, being able to tap into your identity, and pulling yourself away from all these, titles. The only title you need to have is your name. Definitely, if you're trying to figure out who the hell you are, is your name, and then going into who you are. Okay, the who you are is not going to always be, like for me, I am an identity and energetic alignment advisor, right? That's not going to always be my answer for my I am statement, for the who are you, right? It's going to be something completely different, especially depending on the conversation. So this is why another reason why you have to really understand who you are, because certain identities you're going to have to pull yourself out and answer this question, because this question is going to be asked in different states from different people. And if you give the person some bullshit ass answer, it's like, okay, I mean, you're no different from this person, right? So it's like, no, I am different from this person. And it's like, it's not a fight between who's better and, who's the best and who's superior. That's not what this fight is about. The fight is about you being able to stop and just look at yourself and be like, damn, okay, this is who I am. I already know my name. And another thing, going back to the name, okay? Sometimes I might be all over the place, y'all. Going back to your name. All right. So if you're not spiritually, you're not into numerology, astrology, Akashic records, if you're not into none of this stuff, you don't think to decode your name. Okay? Now, I want you to understand that your name holds a ton of power. Okay? So don't just take what I'm saying and like, okay, I guess my name don't really matter. I guess my I am statement is more important. No, they both are important. Please hear me out. They both are important, okay? But when it comes to your name and you decode that thing, it's a game changer, okay? Decoding your name letter by letter and understanding who you are even throughout your name is crazy. It's going to give you even a more eye opener on who the hell you are. Okay? So, I'm not like a name reader. I do my own, so I can't just pop out a name and be like, yep, your name means da 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 da. But for my name, Gab, my name is embedded with leadership. Okay? And I have 2 L's in my name. So it's double leadership, right? And when it's deeper than that, it's deeper than that. Your name might have something to do with math. You need to go and do certain things. It gets deep, right? And this is why the age of awakening and the age of Aquarius is really going to give people some time to awaken themselves out of the illusion of the Pisces. Because Pisces is dreamy, illusion, get you sucked into masking yourself, right? Now, the age of Aquarius, the big dogs, we gonna say, wake the fuck up, right? We gonna tell you how to get up. Like, speaking your truth, understanding your truth, and understanding who you are. And me being an Aquarius, it's like, as I observe and see people really just not care about who they are, it's just like, it's diabolical. It's diabolical. And people will swear up and down they know who they are. But as I'm observing, it's like you're mimicking other people. Okay? So, how long have I been on here? Oh, we've been on here about an hour. I gotta go because I gotta do my podcast now. But boiling down to everything, right? Shaping your identity, shaping your I am statement, understanding who you are, okay? When you are speaking your I am statement in public or on live, your posture is holding the confidence and the leadership that you hold for yourself, okay? You are able to lead yourself. You are a leader. I'm tired of women telling themselves that they're not leaders. I'm tired of hearing this old ass colonized bullshit on telling women that they're not leaders when they are. So learning, because this is something you can actually learn for yourself, because many people have not embodied this, but you are able to understand how to lead yourself. Okay, getting comfortable with leading yourself getting comfortable with your I am statement, getting comfortable with your name. And if you want to get deeper with your name, go ahead and try to decode that motherfucker, because once you decode your name, that's going to give you a deeper meaning of who you are. Okay? Holding every bit of word that you speak out your mouth with confidence. Your body language, your posture, the way you speak. Speak with clarity. Speak with volume. No, you don't have to be yelling on top of your lungs, but speak that shit like you mean it. Like, you know who the fuck you are. You don't need no one to tell you who you are. Okay? Now, you might get a little distracted. Like, for me, my man be like, you need to get it together, girl. And that's okay. Sometimes you need people to remind you to, hello, get back in there, right? That's okay. But that's why it's like, you can't listen to everybody. But if you have that person who is true to you and who really gets you back to who you are, that's fine. But when it comes to getting this coach, this mentor, this motivational speaker, your friends, your family, your grandma, your auntie, your cousins, everybody, once you get everybody's input, now it's like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Right? Learn to trust yourself. Learn to ask questions if you need to, okay? Learn to ask questions if you need to, but be able to analyze and select what you are taking in, okay? Another thing, I probably have to do a whole nother video, but another thing when it comes to shaping your identity, it also comes with what you're watching, what you're intaking. So some of y'all need to go clean up your social media. Some of y'all need to start worrying about Cardi B and worry about yourself. Some of y'all need to clean up your Explore pages, your text phones, your contacts. Go clean it up. Clean it up. Because that's another part of your identity. When you're continuing to hold on to old things, you're not giving that closure. Give that identity closure. You'll have an old friend that you never talked to in 10 years, and they're still your contacts. Let it go. Boop. Delete. You gone. Allow more space in your life. Allow more space for yourself to grow. Okay? I think I'm going to go ahead and end it off right there. Y'all got any questions? Mental health is across the board. Yes, mental health is across the board. This is why people need to tap into themselves. This is exactly why. Mental health is not always about needing a therapist. It's honestly about learning to give yourself space to even breathe, to understand who you are. But so many people don't like the truth. People run away from the truth. So when they run away from the truth, they don't want to know who they are. They don't want to know their true selves. People can't face their true selves. And until they can, such as giving someone. Okay, I read that one. I'm about to end the live, y'all. Y'all got any questions about shifting your identity? It's where my phone is. I can't even see. Do you have any questions on how you can shift your identity? What steps can you take first? What is the way to find truth? I've answered that one. Y'all are so freaking childish. Y'all got questions? I'm about to go. Y'all have any questions on how you can shape your identity? How can you reframe it? Any questions? If you're watching the replay and you have questions, make sure that you comment them below and I will reply back to them. Who in here? There's 3 people. 2 people. Y'all got questions? I'm about to go. How can you shape your identity? If you got that question, you better replay the live. Okay, if you got questions, leave them below and I'll come read them. Okay? Bye, y'all.